Let it be, let it be, let it be, Lucy, let be. Lucy, 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 let it be. But Lucy didn't let it be, did she? No, Lucy didn't let it be. Lucy didn't live and let die. It was the night nurse. It was the night nurse was the brains behind the whole operation. The reason for World War I and II. All this controversy in the history of the Bible of killing young intelligent children to be. It was the night nurse. Jamaica weren't wrong, man. Jamaica weren't wrong. People call me a Nazi. I'm always like, what nation? I was like, I like Jamaica as a nation. Alright? Because Jamaica don't like fascism, so I'm not really the Nazi you think. Jamaica like, I don't want your hospital, man. I don't want your police, man. Because your hospital and your police kill my children. All the time, man. So yeah, I'm a Jamaican Nazi. It's the only nation I think I'd like. But then again, they're very close to Florida, so I wouldn't go there. Lucy, let it be, let it be, let it be. Ever heard the Good Samaritan? Ever heard the Good Samaritan? In Samaria, they used to kill children all the time. All the time. Breakfast, lunch and dinner. Killing kids. Samaria. And then the Samaritan ran away one day, very, very, very far away, because all his neighbour countries and things were doing the same. And the Good Samaritan ran. That's why the Samaritan run and ran and ran and ran. And the Good Samaritan got to like Germany and being poetic over. Like, they're killing people. I've already said this before. They're killing people back in my hometown. You don't do that here? And Germany's like, no, of course we don't do that here. And yeah, that's what it all starts off. The problem is, in this world, post-war world, there's no Germany to run to. There's no nice German understanding family man who's going to help you anymore, because you won the war against them. Kitty killing won the war. Gypsy kitty killing won the war. And so he was a family guy. Gypsy kitty killers won the war. So British socialism is what it is. Post-war socialism. Your kids are going to be sold to the French, the Dutch, the Swiss, to the Norwegians, strangely enough, because they were, I don't know where they stood on things. But the night nurse, that's like Jamaican, knew it, man. Night nurse. Night nurse tried to kill me. She gave me something like noxaproplin, and stared at me. When I looked up at her and was like, are you finished staring at me? And then I had 2 minor strokes. I had 1 minor stroke, and it just brushed off as a headache. But then the next night I had a full-on stroke. It wasn't like there was no blood or oxygen going to one half of my brain. I was in excruciating pain. I even called 911 and 112 and 999. And the doctors in the psychiatric ward told them that the situation was fine, that it's been taken care of. They offered me 2 painkillers, was it? 2 for a headache. But yeah, I didn't die. I didn't, despite many other times that they tried to kill me for knowing about it. I was actually put in psychiatric care on the suspicion of being a kitty killer. I thought there was kitty killing going on around me, and there was. And then they tried to pin it on me. Isn't that interesting? Now, Lucy, 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 darling, Lucy, Lucy, let it be, Lucy, let it be. She looks like a very naive and kind of dopey blonde little nursey girl. And it's the same with the naive and dopey blondie night nurse that served me the noxaproplin and was told to follow orders. People can condition. Okay, it's called conditioning. It's government, like brain control. They can make you very angry. They can make you very stupid. They can make themselves very intelligent. They could brainwash a night nurse. That's why they get hired, these nurses, in the first place, because they're very influential. They're a bit meek-minded. Nothing personal, Lucy. They can condition her to be desensitized and to do these things, and condition them, be desensitized and do them. And then she suddenly grew a moral conscience, because the only thing they have, really, as far as I'm aware, is some diary entry where she scribbled and she's realizing, I did this, I sat by and watched them do this. I knew that the doctor was killing kids for Switzerland. Like this, like they said, Lucy is a common factor in all of these things, but there's going to be many other common factors in all these things, like her assigning doctor. She's only a nurse. I heard there's an MP, a minister, who's also a common factor in all this. You know, what I'm saying is, you know, kitty killers won the war. Kitty killers don't go down, okay? Kitty killers never go down. Right? Kitty killer went down recently and he played the Andrew card. And that's why kitty killers don't go down, because if one goes down, they're all going to start snitching on each other and they'll all go down. So they'll disappear very quickly. And the Good Samaritan will disappear in this world very quickly and be snuffed. And this is probably what happened to Lucy Letby. You you know, the detective like kind of wanted to come in at first and ask her questions, but then just like in this freaky world, just arrested her, and she looked terrified. Um, I reckon that not to be like personally liable or anything, but like the judge that like was very quick to sentence these matters is also involved, and you know, covering it up. Everyone's involved, basically. Everybody's involved. This is the socialism that won the war, and it's not Jewish again. It's Gypsy. This is the socialism that won the war. Um, this is why Black Lives Matter, because they got a new mirror, mirror on the wall, and under the sea, who's the brightest and starriest of them all? And it turns out, oh crap, we were overlooking all these little black kids in all these rough estates and all these places who can very easily just disappear in police custody or in a hospital. A little hint to you is I don't touch cocaine at all, and it's gone weird these days. People are smoking coke and stuff. But if you say you get sectioned or you get hospitalized and they ask you, do you take cocaine? If you say no, which is what they might want you to say, they'll give you treatment that might kill you. So if you ever are in an ambulance or if you're ever in psychiatric care and they ask you, do you take cocaine, just tell them the truth. Because they'll try to snuff you in a way. It's like, oh, he told us he didn't take cocaine, and there's the medicine that they can give you that'll kill you if you have cocaine or regular use of cocaine. Sorry, I'm sweating buckets here. Got the gypsies infiltrating me. I'm vegan, I don't sweat, but I just drip tears constantly. This isn't as gripping and penetrating as I wanted it to be. Lucy, let it be. So yeah, kitty killers don't go down. Bill Crosby went down for being a kitty fiddler. So Bill Crosby's not a kitty killer, or kitty fiddler even. And I got Crosby out, baby. So trolling, the power of trolling can do for you. You know, Richard Pryor, Chuck Berry, like common factor. A lot of brothers with a lot of royalties, a lot of brothers with a lot of money, and they'll send you down for being a kitty killer or a kitty fiddler. Again, kitty killers and kitty fiddlers don't get busted. So the fact that Lucy Letby is getting very busted just kind of makes me think that she's just a good Samaritan, or she's a whistleblower with these very scary, ultimately, like I said, it's global now at this stage. There's no Germany or something for the good Samaritan to run to. There's nowhere you can run and escape. They're all in on it, basically. And they will snuff you and try to disappear you for talking about it. Even so, I don't die. Which is awesome about the situation, because most people just get snuffed and disappeared, and John totted or something. In typical fashion, the Illuminati will poison you from the inside, and I've gone through all of these sufferings and pains of being poisoned internally, and strokes and heart attacks, and kidneys and things swelling up to the point that they're going to explode, and cats and rats and things in my belly, and lots of horrible, twisted, painful things have happened. But I survived. I don't die. And the truth. Yeah. Lucy Letby. No, she's not. She does not look cold and calculated to me. She looks soft and naive, or gullible, and then suddenly grew a dopey moral conscience about it all, realizing what was going on, and like I wouldn't be surprised if she followed orders and administered it once or twice. You know, they wear black scrubs in psychiatric units and things. They wear black scrubs if they've killed people once or twice. You'll notice that in psychiatric wards, the people that have killed or caused suicide, like nurses and doctors can say pretty horrible things in places, especially when you're being held against your own will. Like somebody who's like psychologically unstable or vulnerable, and you hold them against their own will. That's a pretty stupid thing to do. They will just try to run away and kill themselves to escape the nightmare and terror that you're imposing upon them. Things change, you know. Things change when you get put in a jail cell. Things change when you get a gun put in your face. I'm losing topic here. Lucy, let it be. Yeah, there's a lot to be said, you know, like, what was the accounting for the deaths? I put this online and they make videos to explain it the very next day. Who was accounting for the deaths at the meantime? What did the families say? And then suddenly, we're here now about all these families. Yeah, white babies' lives matter. Yeah, it probably runs too deep. Like, I was just going to get in on the fashion industry, and it's going to take over the fashion industry. Zoolander is based on Damien Rockefeller, assuming my destiny in life. Um, and I was just going to get to the top of the fashion industry, like Darth Vader infiltrating the Empire in great clothing, you know. And then I was just going to say, no, 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 we're going to forget about kitty killing. It's a bit passe now. We're going back to polka dots. You see polka dots, paisley floral. Yeah, no, kitty killing's out now. We've done this. No, we've been there. Zoolander, even too. Yeah, it's all about kitty killing. Um, and Miss Cogs, yeah, got a cameo. Go Cagney, go Cagney. I always wanted to have Cagney Lynn Carter playing piano and singing on a boat. She'd be like the sapphire of the Caribbean, and like she'd be like, you know, properly applied in life. And she can actually play piano and stuff really well. I think and she's an extremely talented dancer. I just thought it'd be amazing to have her, like, you know, singing all the old numbers and stuff on stage and socializing, and yeah, it's much better work out there, you know. I'm losing topic again. Sorry, no memory. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Don't let it be. Go, Lucy, go. Go, Lucy. Yes, you will get absolutely snuffed, buggered. Did you ever hear of Magnota? What's his name again? He was a poncy little toy boy. It's no offense there, Magnota, but he couldn't harm himself. Like, this kid couldn't harm himself. He was like a diva male kind of model, and he got he knew about, like, he got abducted and brought to Florida, and he got like the shit strangled and tortured by like very scary people, and then they pinned loads of murders on him because he kind of vaguely looked like some sort of Algerian cat killer. Which is really funny because you see him in the cat killing video and he's smoking a cigarette like a pro. He's like, and then you see Magnota smoking a cigarette, which was the evidence was used against him towards the end, that he looked like Sharon Stone or something. And he smokes, and he barely inhales, and he smokes a cigarette like a puff. Again, no offense, Magnota, you've probably gone through a lot, man. Or a person, or whatever. Yeah, you do yourself there, Magnota. Luca, is it Luca? No, I can't remember if his name is Magnota. If it is Magnota. So yeah, and if you talk about it, you'll be framed and stuff. I was framed for kitty killing. Like, I don't even drive a car. Like, you know what I'm doing? What am I dragging like a bag of dead babies onto the 184? Oh yeah, any idea where I can drop these off, buddy? Detectives, you know, detectives. Celibate vegan hippie. And I got done for kitty killing. And I got a chemical lobotomy to destroy my validity on the situation because I know too much about it. So they gave me a chemical lobotomy, and now I have no validity in like a court or anything like this. So I've got no justice in them trying to murder me twice, shot me in the face, and tried to disembowel me, even so. And yeah, I don't know if like the Lord's graces will extend so much towards Lucy, if she probably has maybe haplessly or knowledgeably taken the life of an infant. I noticed she was sending sympathetic texts to her staff, as in, like, you know, they're all in group therapy together, and like they're all killing kids, which doesn't surprise me. They seem to receive a lot of funding. I saw a photograph of her next to her doctor with this big check or something for like $1.8 billion donated, and I looked at the state of the hospital. It's like, where's the money going there, or what's the money for, or where's the money from? It looked like a dilapidated, dirty, horrible, scary old snuff factory. No, it's not just kids. Like, they'll kill young, intelligent men. Rivers Cuomo of the band Weezer knew all about this, and there was very loaded content. And they were always singing about this kind of stuff. You know, say it ain't so. Your drug is a life taker. Say it ain't so. This world is a holy heartbreaker. And they disappeared him and replaced him with a clone or a lookalike. Like, that's not Rivers Cuomo. You saw Rivers Cuomo early on. I've made videos about this before. That other guy that kind of stands like weird and crappy and doesn't know how to rock. Rivers Cuomo rocked like you saw him, and he was like kind of nerdy up and down all the time. Anyway, yeah. So he knew about it anyway, and they snuffed and replaced and buggered all of them as well. So there's nowhere to run to, baby. There's nowhere to hide. There's nowhere to escape. It's global Samaria, and this is what you won. This is the war you wanted to win. The war to end all wars. You're supposed to have social protection, knowledgeable understanding, wholly social protection after the war, and you don't. You have a farce of social protection, monetary and social services, but you actually have no social and spiritual protection, no social protection whatsoever. Yeah, like I said, sorry, it's not just babies, because babies are innocent, and you can buy a baby's orrery or a name on Etsy. You can buy all these things online. That's very much what the trend is these days. Delivered to me with whirling perfection. You can buy a childhood. You can buy anything, on Etsy or these things these days. Etsy, 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 on Etsy. Oh yeah, and that's another big one I'm going to do for a go. I have to put this at the very beginning. So all of you people in Britain that are on private healthcare, and there's probably a lot of you, and you might think Lucy Letby is a monster. Just to let you know, why are people killing babies? Christian babies or certain babies have stars. You're born with a star, and if you're a baby, you're innocent. So it's a very nice, clean, and brand new bouncing baby star. So they kill kids to steal the stars, and that's what friars do, and that's why in the Vatican stuff, and that's why friars go bald specifically, because they're very committed to God, but they still have snuff to kid or two, and that's why they go bald. Um, I've seen the faces of women who have killed children, and I don't know, Lucy Letby doesn't really strike me in that same sort of way. Don't mean to be reading people's faces or analysing people, but I've seen the faces of women who have killed children, and it doesn't exactly strike me. Night nurse. Yeah, so these private healthcares, that's what I was talking about. Keeping you healthy before you get sick. And why there's AIDS in the pool of Miley Cyrus and all in the pool of Christianity. Yeah, dead babies fuel your private healthcare. The stolen stars of dead or aborted babies, or young intelligent men like myself, Einstein and Nietzsche, get coveted. Or not yet, but that's what fuels your private healthcare, is private newborn baby stars. So that's why there's a factory in snuffing children, because there's a demand from your private healthcare. And depends how much you give to your private healthcare, depends how private your star is. And that's why loads of people during coronavirus, that got coronavirus, were on private healthcare. Hey, what are you paying for now, baby? Because the stars were all screwed with. So yeah, if you might think Lucy Letby is the monster or a killer or the brains behind the operation, but the fact of the matter is you're paying private healthcare, and private healthcare, the fuel that private healthcare work on are stars and orreries, private stars and private orreries. You go to Christianity if you want a massive, big, loving, communal Christian star, the one that Tony Montana killed a person or two to be condemned and kicked out of. And he has no heaven, and the world is his, and you see him die underneath. The world is yours. And when you cash in your heaven and you lose your heaven, you might get it might fall down to earth a bit. So you might be apparently wealthy and successful like Tony Montana for a little while on earth. Because you cashed in your heaven for a $5 and a chicken sandwich or something. So yes, private healthcare is fueled, and the basis of private healthcare, bupas and these things, is private orreries, private stars. Again, the keeping you healthy before you get sick. Stars affect immunity, again, coronavirus, and stars affect your destiny. So private healthcare, you might be, I don't know, and strangely connected with your capacity to breathe, or your ability to breathe. Again, coronavirus. I know about this because my many ovaries have been torn from me and destroyed and replaced and renamed for over the last 7 or 8 years. So I'm very familiar with the ramifications of what it's like to have your ovaries stolen from you. There's men if you want to know about coronavirus, there's men in New York City, I think. Well, there's a lot of people involved, the Dutch, the French, the Swiss, again, Norwegians, Florida, but New York City. I think it was Damien Rockheim's mother that had the wonderful idea of gifting everybody an aura, gifting everybody a star. They have the capacity to give and take stars, which is very high and holy stuff. Francis, you're going to keep a lid on this. And they gave lots of people in the world a star for an hour or a day, and then they culled everybody and they stole them all back from you. So it was a way of cultivating stars and culling them all. They did global cull them all at the one time, and then you all became very sick and vulnerable. And instead of being under one roof of Christianity and things, under one nice pyramid, then you all became very, modified and separated, and were getting bumped in and mixing into each other and getting sick through unholy unions and things. So They had a 3 week break. I would like to emphasize this. They had a 3 week, they called it the summer break, and they tripped out in some Hashashan Babylonian heaven for 3 weeks, like in a coma kind of thing. And it probably felt like, 5 years or something to them, and they wake up for 3 weeks. And they woke up on the shores of Babylon, basically, to a very sick and tormented and troubled world. Troubled earth, troubled the entire world. But the funny thing is, they didn't stop. They didn't go, oh crap. They weaponized it. Once they realized that it had that kind of effect, they weaponized it, and like they destroyed Brazil and they destroyed China and the US, and COVID became a war. Then didn't it? COVID became. What is it? Letby. Oh yeah, stars and static on my hair. Being solar active. So yeah, exactly. I'm solar active. I'm very solar active and solar connected. I like the highest orrery or the oldest orrery on Earth. So like they really wanted to snuff and rob me. Even so. I wasn't afraid before. They murdered me and I didn't die. I'm a little more afraid. No, not really more afraid now. But I swear, when you're held down, stripped naked by like 8 men, and somebody's holding a hook knife that they use to kill pigs, and he's running it up and down your belly, touching it off your genitals. No, you get a bit afraid then, like, you know what I mean? You scream like a bitch, actually. I wipe my own ass. It's always a good way to, get out of this. I wipe my own ass. When I wipe my own ass. Big Daddy. I'm messing. Let it be, let it be. Yeah, the judge is in on it. You'll see everybody saying we want a public inquiry into this. It's not a stupid thing, and they're all kitty killers as well. Anybody that says they want a public inquiry into this, because the public inquiry will never succeed. This information will never be deemed suitable for the public or public consumption. So anyone asking for a public inquiry just wants it not to be known. A lot of people are like, oh, we want it to happen quick. We want it to happen quick. It's like, no, you'd want to be taking your time. And it's like, we need an independent public inquiry. It's like, no, you need about a dozen private inquiries. It's the only way you're going to infiltrate these gypsies. You've got about a dozen secret private inquiries going on. And you notice the kitty killers are trying to manipulate as many of them as possible and try to get in and control them. And you can nearly draw them out even then through their wanting to control and manipulate the situation. If you're a good person, and we're drowning in a world of lacking in good people. Where am I going? I forgot what I was going to say. Drowning in a world of lack of good people. Sorry. It's like Memento. It's just like Memento. Having no memory. Let it be, Lucy, let it no. Yeah, well, I doubt the night nurse is the brains behind this observation, and this has been going on for 8,000 years or something as far as history has started to record it, so, yeah, I wouldn't be blaming the night nurse. That's what that song is about, be careful of the night nurse. It's always a pretty little white girl. It's always a pretty little white girl they send around in the evenings, because they want you to compare, or they want you to fancy the pretty little white girl, and it keeps them connected to you. I was celibate for a decade, and my menstrual system completely stopped. Sorry, it's a bit irrelevant. They forced medications on me to activate my menstrual system, and I was like, "What kind of fucking fascism is this?" I'm like, "That's normal and healthy to be a wanker." I was like, "No, I don't want to be a wanker." It's like, you can't make me be a wanker, Ireland. You can't force me. I was like, oh, well, like, the Pope and the princes and all are having a lot of trouble competing with your celibacy. I was like, I'm not competing. I couldn't care. Fucking fascism sticking needles in you. Anyway, let it be. I doubt she was in that courtroom anyway. You didn't see her in the courtroom. She's probably dead. Probably already dead. Silenced and dead. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. I thought you could just build an army of kids. Yeah, it wouldn't be the worst idea, There's no adults you can trust in this world anymore. The adults are all corrupt Swiss kiddie looking gypsies that won the war. Tell the kids all about it. The grown-ups intend to kill you one day. When you turn 30, the grown-ups are going to snub you like Kurt Cobain. The grown-ups are going exploit you. And I'd love juvenile validity in the world. It wouldn't be my bad idea to have some juvenile validity. The grown-ups are all sadistic and bitter and sexy and greedy. Kids. Just give kids a few Kalashnikovs and the truth. No helmets needed, you know what I mean? Just give the kids a few Kalashnikovs and the truth. James and John, James and John will get you through. Fucking Zebedee spying on you from distance. Anyway, let it be. Yes, night nurse was hardly the brains of this operation. If she had killed or knew about the killing, and was even helped or told to administer, and just did what she was told, and then suddenly grew a moral conscience afterwards. That goes right back to the Bible as well. Eve, do this. Okay. Oh shit. Oh. So yeah, they seemed very quick to swiftly, like Christ as well, put every crux on this girl, the night nurse. Every crux on her and call her the monster and the brains of the entire kitty killing operations. They're going on everywhere. These people run your abortion clinics and stuff, Anyway, so maybe let her be a bit anyway. I don't want calling her, the brains or monster, the brains behind all monsterhood. Maybe let her be a bit. She looked petrified when they were taking her outside. Like she looked petrified. I'm not I'm like Hannibal Lecter. I'm like caged by pigs and psychiatric psychopaths. But I'm like a better detective than all of them put together. She looked terrified when they were taking her out. Petrified. She didn't look worried or concerned that she was busted. She looked terrified that, I don't know, I know that kind of look. Worried. That Magnota look. Magnota was smiling actually when they finally arrested Magnota at the airport, made a big scene. And he was smiling because he thought, finally I've brought enough attention to myself that the good guys and the FBI and the CIA are going to get in there now. And he was smiling like, finally I've brought enough attention to this. And now not a chance for Magnota. Now Magnota got boogered. Again, there's no escaping the system. Magnota got totally boogered. He was happy because he thought, it's like, finally I've got the FBI and the CIA and the government and the world attention, and I'll be able to draw a light on these monsters from Florida that snuff kids all the time and stab people for YouTube videos. And again on this strategy, if you want to research, my friend shows me this. He watches it all the time, of this really concerning police officer in America that researches the history of young intelligent men that have drowned in rivers in America. So you think it's just kids or your very wealthy OAP grandparents or something that the hospitals are just systematically snuffing. Now, it's lots of people. You're all worth very, very much. Very, very much. You wouldn't know. You wouldn't want to know how much you're worth. You wouldn't want to, because you'd probably cash it in, like Tony Montana, if you knew. Myself and Queen Elizabeth II, we keep our sandwiches for later. Yes. It's not exactly brioche, it's a humble little marmalade sandwich, but we keep it for later. But anyway, this is Socialism Use 1. Go England, yay! Go traitor England, yay! And, you got what you wanted, you got what you won. Kitty killers won the war. And this is now, global. And even Germany were told, now you have to be a kitty fucker, Germany. You lost the war. And then Germany like, oh fine, we'll be kitty fuckers now, and they're doing it better than everybody else, just as usual. Sorry, no, I don't mean that. But Bundestag, really, it's all stars. It's all black and white, and it's all stars, and it's one tiny little chicken with tiny wings, and it's gonna fall on its arse. It's not exactly going up, and it's black and white. I think they know exactly what they mean by that. Like, oh, we just all have to be little unborn chicken kitty fuckers, and chicken wings and the little Bundestag, no, falling on its big arse. But yeah, kitty fuckers from the war, guys. Doesn't say to you. There was a Family Guy. There were a lot of valid and concerning German people. There was a handful of high priests and judges in Rome, that tried to make a difference at one point and tried to stop all this. And nope, I don't know about you. I read the news today. Oh boy, I love that sentiment. I read the news today. Oh boy, The English army had just won the war. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do. The news was kind of sad. Anyway, yeah, let it be. Night nurse. Go back to Jamaica. She's probably dead. People involved in the situation are probably the kitty killers manipulating it and running it, like that High Court judge. Actually, I heard that High Court judge. I had a dream. I heard that High Court judge has been wrongfully accused of kitty buggering about 8 times. That judge has been wrongfully. That judge has been framed. That judge has been framed about 18 times for being a kitty bugger. Framed. That judge that sentenced Lucy Letby has been framed. That honourable, righteous judge has been framed. Has a history of being framed. A history of being framed for kitty buggery. There's lots of common factors, man. There's common factors you wouldn't believe, you know what I mean? If you do your mathematics and learn how to break down your common factors, you probably find a lot of common factors. You probably find a lot of night nurses. I could tell you the names of a few from the psychiatric ward that I worked in. You can look around any psychiatric ward or nurse ward, anyone wearing black scrubs is a snuff. That's why they wear the black things. It's all very religious. It's all very, very religious. Yeah, but kitty killers don't go down. So just let it. I don't mean to say that as an absolute statement. The Letby is going down. But kitty killers don't usually go down. Unless like they're completely rendered crazy and invalid. As in, Lucy's probably been rendered insane and invalid. And she probably turned around and said, the whole ward knew, like the doctors knew, everybody knows. It's a Christmas song. Everybody knows. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. If you throw a few babies on an open fire, a big American open fire, they ball up like chestnuts. They ball up like wrinkly chestnuts. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and everybody knows. And they go to Liberia and teach them, you know. Or maybe, UK, you might want to go to Liberia and learn from them. Maybe there's a family guy